I can just. Which one? It's green. Which one's the new one? Or the. No, so I hit the record button, but is it green for the intro?
Yeah. No, the ad hasn't changed. It's just the file within the first button has changed.
Okay, so hit record and then hit the green button, and then start talking. Well, I've got to unmute.
No, you don't. No.
Oh, was that you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's no reason to have that.
Gotcha.
But you're streaming.
Okay. Go back to bed. Nobody wants to see your face.
We'll make it work.
I know.
Somehow.
At TENN. Yeah, and I've got plenty of beer, so this works out. I'm half tempted to switch over to your seat so people can see my pretty face more directly.
If you do.
I'm not going to do that. I know I got to change the mute. I'm not going to do that.
Sorry, fellas. I wasn't really expecting.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, you look like shit too.
Thanks. Let me know. Oh, shit.
33. Hampton.
Yeah, I probably won't be back up here. Can you just turn everything off for me, Arms?
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Thanks, man.
No problem. No problemo. Michael Thomas, Drew Brees, A.J. Brown, Ryan Tannehill. What kind of garbage do I have left? Man, Alvin Kamara's getting cheap, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, that game, I don't know about that game. Because, I mean, Titans got a lot to play for. Saints are obviously still playing for
Home
something.
field, yeah.
I don't
You
know
know
what
what?
they're playing for. Yeah, I think they're playing for a first-round bye.
Freaking Josh Hill's probably going to be the damn play. Make me want to punch someone in the face. Or I could just put Josh Hill in and
Yeah.
shut my mouth about it.
There you go.
No. T 12-8. Man, like Michael Thomas, Drew Brees are so expensive. Like it's hard to put anything around them.
I had something figured out with Thomas.
I mean, it's the play.
I mean, he's always the play. But,
What do you have figured out for him?
well, I mean, I haven't actually made a lineup. Well, I'd have to load it back up. I didn't write it down, but, I mean, there's some cheap Titans guys. I mean, even the Titans D at 2,600.
Yeah,
That's
but I mean, if
cheap,
you're
man.
playing Michael Thomas, it's kind of crazy to play the Titans
Not
D.
really. I mean, he could have 12 catches for 180 yards, but if he only scores one touchdown, that ain't bad.
Man, he might have
only
12
7
catches
points.
for 180
Well,
yards. That's a crazy thing.
He only needs what? He needs 12 to break the record, right? He's at 133.
Yeah, but this is week 15, right?
16. Yeah, he's got 2 weeks to
Or,
break
yeah,
it.
week,
I'm just
week
saying.
16. It's their 15th game.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. He could break it this week with a week to spare. I mean, he had 12 catches last week.
He's so good.
12 more, he breaks the record. He could hit 150 with 1 week or in the final week.
Put together
That's insane.
a Michael Thomas lineup real quick.
All right.
Because I'm just curious. Let's see who can put together the best Michael Thomas lineup.
Oh.
I mean,
If anybody's watching this live stream, hello.
yes, hello. We will be. I will be reprising the role this week of Jeremy Barker. No, Barker's out sick. So, do you have access to the Twitter feed?
I'd have to. I don't know. Not at the moment. I don't know. I got a new phone. I got a new phone, so I didn't get it logged back in.
Oh, of course. Of course you didn't.
But I mean, I can. I just haven't yet.
Won't you do that, guy? Oh goodness!
Bauer's watching. Hello, Bauer.
Hey Bauer. When you
Can always count on you, buddy.
if you put in Michael Thomas as your captain,
Hold on, man. I'm
just
just now
listen
starting.
to me. No, I'm not even trying to make a lineup.
You are.
This just tells you how hard it's going to be to create a lineup. If you put Michael Thomas, Drew Brees, A.J. Brown, Alvin Kamara, you have 2 spots left and $1,400 to fill them.
Yeah. Well, Tajay Sharp with $800 would be one of them. I'd like. I got him wrote down. With Humphrey still out, but yeah, that would leave 600 for another spot. So nah, yeah, that seems like it might be a.
I mean, can you play?
I mean,
Oh, goodness.
you can play Ferkser.
But can you?
He's been He get targets every week. He had 4 targets last week, but he only had 1 catch.
I mean, Jesus, the play's probably freaking Zach Line.
Yeah, it's not Zach Line.
I mean, it's never Zach Line. But you get my point, man. This is rough.
All right, well, let me see what I can throw together here.
Let me see. As sick as it makes me, I've got to take out Drew Brees.
Yeah, you almost got to base it that you like the Titan side, but Thomas still gets his.
That is a. I mean, that's a hard one. So let's just say I go kicker, Taysom Hill. All right, so I could do.
All right, I got one. Once you're done, go ahead.
Well, we can talk about it on the show. We'll talk about it when we start recording.
Okay. Well, I mean, I just threw it together, but I mean, it's like in the Titans a little more.
Yeah.
And I got, let's see, it's Thomas.
Yep.
And I got the Titans D. I got Tannehill, A.J. Brown, and Jonnu Smith. And then the Saints kicker. So it leaves me $200.
I've got Michael Thomas as captain.
Yeah.
Will Lutz, Taysom Hill, A.J. Brown, Kamara, and Jared Cook.
So that kind of mixes both in there a little more.
And I mean, that basically tells, I mean, it's basically saying, all right, well, Drew Brees quarterback touchdowns aren't worth as much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think at this point you almost have to play Taysom Hill.
Yeah, you don't.
Dude, he's...
You don't. He's had 3 games this year over
no,
double digits.
But, man, he pays off so well whenever you play him.
3
You know what I mean?
times. That's what I'm saying, though. And he just did it last week. So it's like, yeah, it's back-to-back weeks.
But you're... Okay, but how is he not paying off when he's normally like $200?
But he's
if
not.
you're getting you
he's
5
not,
points...
He's not $200.
Yeah, it's 22 this week.
Yeah. I'm just saying, I'm looking at his points. Okay, he had 12.3 last week. Good. 3.5 before that. Not good. 18.5. Good. Then he had 1, 1.4, 3.1. Then he had 15. Good. 9.5. You take it at 2,200. 1.7, 2.1, 1.6, 2, 3. I mean, it's just, he's very risky.
Oh, he's absolutely risky. But he's no more risky than Traquan Smith.
I'm not playing Traquan
You know what I
Smith
mean?
for 4,400.
Yeah, I mean, truth be told, I'd probably rather play Traquan Smith. Or excuse me, him than Traquan Smith.
he
Like,
does-
not even close.
Traquan does have a touchdown in 3 out of the last 4 games.
Freaking Josh Hill's got 2 touchdowns 2 weeks in a row. One of them should have been Taysom Hill. Because I had him as a captain last week. I guess you could always pull out on him. Hold on. What if I did this? Go all the way back up to... Oh, Jesus. I've got 2 spots left. Still can't afford... All right. Let's go with Breeze. No, that's impossible. There's just no way I can stomach playing Tajay Sharp and Anthony Ferkser. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if I could stand looking at that. And the guy's got 8 receptions in 7 home games.
Yeah. I mean, okay. I don't know.
All right, no, my point is it's hard. And
It's hard. I
where
put Taysom Hill in, and I still don't like the lineup.
I don't mind mine.
Well, I mean, I got
Thomas, Breeze, Brown, Kamara, Lutz.
Well, I put Tannehill in instead of Breeze. I got Thomas, Taysom Hill, Kamara, and then I got Brown, Tannehill, and Sharp. Leaves 200. neither one of us are playing Derrick Henry. Maybe we should play Derrick Henry and see what happens.
It was a bad matchup.
Yeah.
He's expensive, but man, it's not like he's disappointed much this year.
Yeah, not at all.
I mean, 150 against. Wow, he's been
rolling.
Dude, he's bald.
I mean, 1,329 yards, 13 touchdowns.
I mean,
two more receiving touchdowns.
His disappointment is against Houston. Still got 8.6 points. That's probably why his price is down.
Yeah.
What do we? Let's see what I can get with Derrick Henry at captain.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to look better dropping down to Henry or. I mean, if you think they're going to be playing from behind, Tannehill might not even be a bad captain play. If he's actually going to have to throw the ball.
Henry for price perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're still, rough treading. Let's say that we did get rid of Breeze, go Kamara. I still love A.J. Brown. And who we got left? I got $6,300 left, which puts me at Will Lutz. See, I don't think I like this one any better though, because I'm sitting here staring at Will Lutz and freaking Taysom Hill. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, you want to like Dion Lewis at some point, but the dude's not been playing at all. So if you did Derrick Henry, you could do Henry, Thomas, Kamara, A.J. Brown, Will Lutz, and Taysom Hill, which isn't horrible. I mean, if Derrick Henry has a Derrick Henry game,
Yeah.
And we can't just assume that the Saints roll.
No, I don't think they do at all. At all. I think Titans have a very good shot at winning the game.
Okay. Brown. I can already tell you I'm probably gonna screw up. Call A.J. Brown Hollywood. I just know it's happening tonight. I kept having to stop myself, and I know the difference. They're not even similar players. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I kept wanting to call, A.J. Brown, Hollywood, all like pre-draft.
Yeah.
Like, damn it, stop it. 2,200. All right. I'll slam a couple more together before we get started here. I spent way too much time on that game. And sorry, listeners.
Sorry, Bauer.
Yeah, Bauer. Watchers, listeners. Well, here's an easy one. I don't even have to look at the players to know who I'm starting at freaking captain. Lamar Jackson.
Yeah. You think Michael Thomas is expensive? Look at Jackson's price.
21,000.
Yeah.
6,000 by second place.
Honestly, I didn't write it down, but I made one earlier that I was like, oh, this will work.
With Lamar?
Yeah.
I mean,
even though I like it better with Ingram, which I'm perfectly fine playing Ingram at captain, but
yeah, but I mean, if you put Lamar Jackson in Mark Ingram, you're down to 18,000 and you have 4 spots to fill. But the thing about Lamar Jackson is, man, like, you might be right and pick 3 receivers nobody outside of fantasy football circles have ever heard of.
Well, and that's what it took, because I had Boykin in there, I had Hayden Hurst in there, and that was with getting, I think, Kareem Hunt, and I had 2 Browns. I had Hunt and
let's see.
Hunt. I think I had Hunt and Landry. Let me see.
I'm gonna see what I can put together here. This one just is the kind that makes people money. But then again, on the flip side, like I think the top prize pool is $20,000. So the winner is going to end up with like a whopping, $500 or something. Something embarrassing. All right, $6,000, and what do I got? Good Lord. Players are expensive. Trying to bargain shop over here, and y'all are.
I normally don't like playing the whole entire salary. I usually leave 100 or 2 or 3 or whatever. But
All right.
I got Lamar at captain. Then you got Hunt and Landry, and the Browns kicker for Cleveland. And then I got Boykin and Hollywood.
All right. All right. All right. Jesus Christ. Like, just his cost is insane. 21,000, and like the next guy on my list right below him that I'm playing in the same game is 3,200. Dude, I think as much as I hated on Hayden Hurst, he's kind of developed into a fairly decent tight end.
Yeah.
I mean, his biggest thing is he's just one of many. It's almost like the Colts, you know what I mean? The way the Colts were last year, to where Mo Alley Cox might catch 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Like, that's what they're doing. Hollywood at 88. I'll look at another one on that one, because I feel like, of course. Yeah, he's the best I can afford. Would you go Odell Beckham Jr. or Kareem Hunt?
I like Hunt this week. I don't know. Odell just, I don't know.
Oh, I know. He is what he is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of course.
He had 13 targets last
That's what I
week.
was
but
gonna
he
say.
still didn't do anything with them. 8 for 66. I don't know. Yeah, I like Kareem Hunt this week.
It's not like he's garbage, though. You know what I mean? That's
No.
what kills me about him. Yeah, Brown's 7,600. And Chubb at 88. Yeah, I don't mind that one. We should probably get started before long.
Yeah, probably.
Were you able to log into the Twitter?
Oh, no.
What a piece of crap.
I gotta, honestly,
Carolina, Indy. I don't know what. Well, I get it. I know why they do it. But Lamar Jackson's worth, value-wise in his own game, less than McCaffrey. That's incredible.
yeah, that's crazy.
You think this is a Bonifon game? Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, me either. Is it ever a Bonifon game?
I mean, like, once.
No.
I'm gonna get all ballsy out here on my picks. Good God, McCaffrey's expensive. McCaffrey's regular price is more than the guy I try to pick is just captain. There's his regular price. Just show up to work, man. God. Painful. Nope. Here we go.
All right, I'm logged
Here
in.
we go. All right, I gotta line up.
Are you still in the Browns game?
No,
Oh, what'd you move on to?
I moved on to the
Carolina game.
Carolina game.
I got a super cheap play if you want to play them for $200.
Super cheap.
Well, you can't go cheaper.
Who?
Chris Hogan. He came back last week, got a couple targets for the Panthers.
Okay.
He's been out since week 4.
Yeah, I'll pass.
I mean, he might have been working with Will Greer, man.
I've got Will Greer as my captain.
Well, see, play Chris Hogan. You won't be disappointed. I figured you'd go Will Greer.
Dude, I don't know, man. I think he's going to be fine. Although he's expensive as heck to start.
Well, yeah, they had to price him up.
Yeah, he would have been probably the play.
I like Ian Thomas still, even though Olsen's back at 2K.
I don't mind the price. If I would have needed to squeeze anything else in, I would have. Actually, I can squeeze in Ian Thomas
Or Inman at 1,600. I don't mind him
I've
either.
got Inman in.
Yeah.
That's my
Yeah.
13-6. Curtis Samuel.
All right, I'm seeing like three questions on this Twitter thing.
That's
here.
what he said.
1, 2.
All right. Do you know how to start this?
No, not at all, buddy. Just here.
Just here for another pretty face. McLaughlin. All right. You ready?
No. Yeah.
Welcome to the Back Row Fantasy Show with your hosts, Jeremy Barker, Aaron Arms, and Brian Hucks.
Welcome to the... Oh, whoa. The mic was a little bit far away from me. Welcome to the Back Row Fantasy Show. I'm your host tonight, Aaron Arms. With me is Brian Hucks. Barker's a little bit under the weather tonight, so we gave him the day off.
Yeah, he looked like shit.
Yeah, Hucks pretty much kicked him out. He's like, whatever you have, I'll take a hard pass. Just get out. So, yeah, worked out. So now you've got the dulcet tones of Hucks's voice tonight. So that's good.
I'm ready to do this.
All right, so championship weekend, for most leagues. Every now and again, you'll get one of those two game championship or 2 week championships.
Oh yeah.
Not for me.
Yeah, it's terrible. If you're in a league that your championship is in week 17, quit that league and just go somewhere else. That's just terrible.
They're painful, man. Those are, whenever
you got teams that are sitting players playing for nothing. You don't want your championship to come down to that. Because, I mean, if you're Lamar Jackson, for example, he's leading you to the championship. Baltimore clinches home field advantage this week.
Yep.
They may decide to just sit him next week.
Yeah, I mean, how many years did we see, Peyton Manning not play week 16? Or week 17,
yeah.
I guess. I mean, we've seen it years and years and years. A lot of these great teams that are – it's one thing whenever, you're the Patriots and you're trying to win, 18 games and the Super Bowl, or 19 games, I guess, technically, where they
Right.
finished 18-1.
Yeah.
So it's one thing if they're trying to have a perfect season, but once they lose, they don't care.
Nah.
Home field advantage, sit your players.
Yep.
Hell, that said their players in the first round if they could. Well, their first round of them playing,
Yeah.
If it was, if they didn't have to win it, they ain't playing it.
Yeah,
So-
I'd honestly be shocked if Baltimore, if they win this week against the Browns, clinch home field, number one spot. I'd be shocked if they didn't. I'd be
Sorry,
shocked.
we're passing beer here.
Passing beer. I'd be shocked if they played Lamar at all. I mean, there's no point in it.
Well, he's got the only record in striking distance, which is the rushing record. What's the point?
There is no point. But you never know. The last team to beat them this year was the Browns back in week 4. They've won 10 straight. The Browns pull off the win again. He's going to have to play because they're still playing for that number one spot.
So
you definitely don't want New England to get that number one spot.
No. I mean, that's incredibly important for this game. God, I hate New England, and
Yeah.
if they end up in
Hold
that
on.
number one spot,
Are we allowed to say we hate New England?
Shh.
I don't know if we're allowed to.
I don't think we're allowed
Anyways.
to anymore.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, CLNS. I don't hate New England. No, I can't. I can't lie. I'll never be a fan. I
Never.
can't be a fan.
Sorry.
It's painful. It's painful. I'm a Raiders fan. Like I'm a Tuck Rule. Saw that happen. It was complete trash, and it'll always be trash. It's no need to go down my hatred for Tom Brady yet again. So yeah.
I'm right there with you. I'm a Buffalo Bills fan. I mean, they've been bringing us down for years now, and that's who we play this week.
Yeah.
Hey, the division is still there for ours.
What did I
to
tell
take.
you?
It's very slim.
It's
We got to
not
win. Listen, we got to win, and then Miami's got to beat New England.
No.
Week 17. Yes.
I don't think so.
I
You would hold the tiebreaker and the.
I've seen it. I've seen it.
I thought if you guys won out and beat New England this week.
I thought so too, but what the scenarios are saying is Miami's got to beat them week 17.
Well,
also,
I mean, that's less likely,
Less likely.
but not impossible.
not impossible, no, but
It's going to be hard.
it's gonna be hard.
It'll be real
Just
hard.
got to get through this weekend first.
So, Hux, how many championships you in this year?
Just the one redraft league on Yahoo. Didn't make it in any of my dynasty leagues.
I'm not going to go down the pain of what happened to me in my redraft league, so we'll leave that out. But I'm a Brill Championship.
Yeah.
Me versus Bauer.
Oh.
Our very own Michael Bauer. So give the listeners a little bit of the matchup. I mean, we're an IDP show, so the rosters are going to get deep here. But so quarterback, it's Wentz versus Breeze. Running back, it's Chubb and Fournette versus Miles Sanders and Devonta Freeman. So,
Oh.
I mean, Freeman's performing well, but he's got Chubb and Fournette,
Yeah.
Wide receiver wise, so he's got Slayton and Beckham and Brashad Perriman, which he paid dearly for Brashad Perriman.
He could pay off. Maybe not. We'll see.
And let's see. I've got Michael Thomas, Adam Thielen, and Terry McLaurin with some options on the bench. DJ Chark, depending on his availability. Chris Conley, a couple other players that could possibly go in there. Tight end, sorry for people who don't care about us, but this is, one of the leagues we started. He's got Jared Cook. I've got O.J. Howard, but I just onboarded Tyler Higbee. So,
Okay.
which both of, Howard is probably going to get force-fed the ball this week with,
You would think.
in theory.
You would think.
But Higbee would have been the play for me, and that's the reason to pay for him. And then, of course, I see Everett's coming back, so that kind of ruins the allure. Kicker, I've got Harrison Butker. He has Hotchkiss for Buffalo. Very similar kickers as far as quality wise. I think Butker obviously typically has more opportunity to score, especially with Hotchkiss going against New England. But if they're moving the ball but can't get all the way there,
Yeah. I mean, it could be a field goal game.
a couple 50-yard field goals, and he's really paid off. Defensive line, he's got Kenny Clark and Vic Beasley. I have Brandon Graham and John Simon. Linebackers were my strength to begin the year, and Leighton Vander Esch has just murdered me.
Yeah.
Christian Kirksey's on IR. The monster I'm going against is Darius Leonard, Devin White, and Joe Schobert.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So now on the flip side, I'm scrambling on the waiver wire, so this isn't the final product. But I've got Bobby Wagner, Nicholas Morrow, Jermaine Pratt. I've got some guys that are questionable that might play, but I'm afraid to plug them in. So like Christian Jones, etc.
Yeah.
Now, just as good as his linebackers are compared to my safeties, compared to my linebackers, my safeties are probably edging him a pretty good bit. Now his are Antoine Bethea, Micah Hyde, and Sean Williams for Cincinnati. But I have Budda Baker, Landon Collins, Ronnie Harrison, and with Terrell Edmonds and Malik Hooker and Eric Harris at my disposal.
Yeah, you definitely got the edge there.
So we got.
Should be a good matchup.
I won last week
Do you have
by.
Wentz or Breeze?
I have Breeze.
You have Breeze.
I won last week by 30 with the Michael Thomas, Drew Brees buzzsaw hitting our very own Dan Rozier. But yeah, it was. I was down and I led the league in scoring last week, and I had 2 guys put up a 0.
Oh wow.
I had a guy that was a game time decision out and missed that, and then I don't know what the heck happened with Nick Morrow. I mean, I believe he played,
Oh,
but
yeah,
he
I don't know.
didn't register a single fantasy statistic. I think it's going to be a good game. I don't want to talk too much crap to Bauer. We've got our own little side thread going on it, but I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun one to participate in. So, Hux, any highlights about the one you've got coming up or no?
I mean, I took out the Lamar Jackson led team last week, so I was pretty.
You already won the championship, if that's the case.
I hope so. Like I said, it's Yahoo redraft, so I got Russell Wilson. He has Breeze. My receivers. This league starts 2 receivers, 1 running back, and then it has a wide receiver running back flex.
Mm-hmm.
I got DJ Moore and Devontae Adams
That's a good
against
one.
his
Get there.
AJ Brown, Cortland Sutton. He's got Adam Jones at running back. I got Joe Mixon, and in my flex I got.
You mean he's got Aaron Jones?
That's what I said. Did I say Adam
You
Jones?
said Adam
He's
Jones.
Pac-Man Jones.
He's got a cornerback at
Yeah, he's
at
got
running back.
Pac-Man Jones coming back. Anyways, Aaron Jones, Joe Mixon for myself, and I got Eckler at flex. Or actually, well, it's a toss-up because I got Marlon Mack on my bench. He's got a great matchup this week. Just he looked like garbage last week.
Oh yeah. Well, we said that was going to happen too.
Yeah. But so that Mack might go in the starting lineup, but Mixon's playing great, and he's got a matchup against the Dolphins.
Mixon has. I mean, at the beginning of the year, Mixon looked like they're going to draft a running back. I know it's the line.
Yeah.
We know it. We all know
And
it's
the
the line.
that's the
they've-
thing. The line's been playing better, and Mixon's been playing great.
Good.
The last 6 weeks or so. And my tight ends, Mark Andrews, he's got Hollister. He's got Mostert in his flexed. So I'm projected 115 to 105, but we'll see.
We shall see. I think Bauer's projected to finish slightly ahead of me. Actually, I had a waiver wire ad that didn't come through, and I still don't know why. I actually asked Barker about it. I'm like, we've got Saturday games. Can we just do a Friday night waiver?
Oh yeah, that would.
I mean, it could potentially screw me because
Yeah,
I think one of my games is a Saturday. I think I had the starter. Either the starter I've got in is a Saturday game, or the one I'm trying to acquire is a Saturday game. It is what it is. If I don't get in, I don't get in.
I mean, he could almost push them to noon tomorrow on Saturday.
Yeah.
Instead of, I believe at 6 or 8 o'clock they usually process.
Yeah.
But with the 3 Saturday games this week.
Yeah, these ones sneak up on you.
Yeah.
Like getting hit with the Saturday games kind of sneak up on you. So I know we got some listener questions before we get rolling into. And I will tell you, you're in championship weekend, guys. Our advice tonight is going to be geared. It's a unique weekend for fantasy football. So I'm a big showdown guy. I love the showdown matchups. Some people call them like the captain matchups or the MVP matchups. What do they call them? FanDuel. I think it's MVP, man.
Yeah, I think it's MVP.
But it's the individual game plays. There's a lot this week. There's actually 9. We're going to run down a list of some of our kind of favorite plays, and I'm going to throw out a few lineups. I've been doing okay with this. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I've won big money, but I've placed very very respectably in some pretty large tournaments. So,
you may roll through these
yes,
questions real
sir.
quick. All right, we got. This one is need 2 wide receivers, non-PPR.
Okay.
DJ Shark, Fuller, Hollywood Brown, or Jared Cook can use tight ends as wide receiver, and he has Devontae Adams locked already.
Okay.
So he needs 2. Shark, Fuller, Hollywood Brown, Jared Cook. Non-PPR.
I'm going to go Hollywood, definitely.
Yeah, I like Hollywood.
I think if Chark is healthy, I think he's the
Chark
play.
is questionable. Fuller's questionable.
I
think they're both expected to play.
I like Chark if he plays. Chark, I mean, he's let you down a little bit, but he's shown to be a fairly consistent stud. Whereas Fuller's, he's a yo-yo.
Yeah, I mean,
his great is the best in the game, arguably, as far as fantasy points, but his lows are bad.
His lows are bad, and he's got a great matchup against Tampa Bay this week. All right, I'll go different. I'm gonna go Fuller and Hollywood. If you're going Chark and Hollywood,
We don't have to disagree.
No, we don't have
you
to
know what I mean?
disagree.
We're trying to give the guy advice.
No, I know. I'm iffy on Chark because he has kind of came back down to earth a little bit. Plus, he's coming off an injury. He's still banged up.
But who's starting quarterback this week?
Minshew, I'm pretty
I
sure.
believe it's still Minshew.
I know he was.
But if we look at what he did, body of
Yeah.
work with Minshew, it was better. You know, he was a better wide receiver with Gardner Minshew at quarterback. Correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't Chark hurt last week?
Yeah.
And that's Minshew's first start back, right?
First or second, yeah.
Okay, so
They're playing the Falcons. So, I mean,
that's just as good of a
I'd say
matchup.
It's not a bad. Okay.
So
I'm on board with Chark. I like him. I'm iffy on him.
no, I mean I can understand that, but I feel like part of his kind of downgrading more than anything is the quarterback. I mean, Foles isn't good.
I think Chark's a safer play than Fuller.
But I think-
Fuller's really boom or bust.
But he's a safer play, but his ceiling's still 90% of what Will Fuller's ceiling is.
Yeah. I mean,
Will-
he has shown that. So,
Like, I feel like Will Fuller's ceiling's like 220 yards and 3 touchdowns,
well, yeah.
but DJ Chark's is 180 yards and 2 touchdowns.
touchdowns, yeah.
You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
great. Like, you're not upset with either one of those plays. So that's just how I
and
view it.
I guess with it being non-PPR, I guess it doesn't really matter if Chark gets 10 catches or not. Yep. So Hollywood and Chark, we'll go those two.
Okay. And next,
Bauer says, "How will Arms feel after a defeat in the Brill?" See, he's talking trash, and you're trying not to.
See, Bauer, whenever lions don't concern themselves with the opinions of lambs, just remember that. No, I don't. It's going to be a good matchup, Bauer.
It is.
I can't talk too much crap, but because I think your team's good enough to beat mine. Like if I thought I was going away with it, there'd be so much crap spewed from my mouth. But I'm not going to walk away with it. I know I'm not. So
No, it's. I mean, just basing off what you showed the lineup was. It looks like it's gonna be a solid matchup.
I think it's going to be neck and neck, to be honest with you. So yeah, I'm a little. I'm not going to use the term scared, but I'm definitely not overly confident. I'll just say that. So.
All right, one more. I gotta find the other one. Pick two of these guys: Mixon, Gurley, James White, or Boone. Yeah, I don't mind Boone if Cook and Madison are both out. Boone plays on Monday night, so it's a tough decision to make.
So hold on, Mixon,
Gurley, James White, or Boone. You got to pick two.
James White, and Mixon.
Mixon.
To me, it's a laydown.
Mixon for sure.
Listen? I know you're a Bills fan, but James White isn't just a running back.
No,
and
yeah,
even
I
if
mean-
you want to consider him that, the Bills aren't that good at stopping the run.
No, and he's not going to be running the ball much anyways. So, I mean, it's through the air is where he's dangerous. So, man, I like Boone on Monday night if Cook and Madison are out, which it seems definitely that Dalvin's not going to play. It seems that.
I can't get behind him the way everyone else is. Like that, he's just going to automatically be the stud. Like if you have Dalvin, if Dalvin got you here, you kind of have to spend your whole fab to get this guy, and hope he does what you need him to do. But I feel like the hype behind Boone is more along the lines of hope, the hope behind Boone, hope for the guys that still have him.
Man, I don't know. I'm going Boone Mixon.
Okay.
He's got a good match. It's Monday night against Green Bay. I mean, the guy scored 2 touchdowns last week. I mean, I'm on the Boone train, I guess.
All right. Oh, whatever, man. Whatever, dude. Whatever. On the Boom train. You're going to Boomtown, are you?
Yeah, the Boomtown.
Boomtown.
One more. Start one. He has Barkley. Okay, he has Barkley, McCaffrey, Mostert, and at running back.
Barkley, McCaffrey, and
And I guess that doesn't matter. Okay, so
I was going to say,
option-
you start to definitely Barkley and McCaffrey.
that's not
hey.
a question. He's listed.
Are you just bragging?
Yeah, I don't know because the question is start one, and the choices are Odell, Gallup, or Perryman.
Man, 99% of the time, I would say Michael Gallup.
That's who I'm going with. I just want to see where you're going.
But I have to play against Brashad Perryman this week. So, no, here's what I'm going to say. Other than last week, what's Brashad Perryman ever done?
Right.
All right. How many 100-yard... Michael Gallup has more 100-yard games this year than Brashad Perryman has in his career.
Well, yeah,
I'll
I mean,
guarantee it.
I think the stats said he had 3 touchdowns in his career, and then he had 3 touchdowns last week.
I didn't see that, but yeah, I mean, that's...
But then again, he is the number 1 this week in an offense that throws the ball. Jameis is shooting for 5,000 yards.
They're going...
they're
But
playing-
everyone
they're
knows
playing
where the
against-
ball's going. How...
Yeah, I know.
I have more confidence this week in O.J. Howard and Cameron Brate to have production than I do in Brashad Perryman.
Yeah, I'm going Gallup, like I said.
Yeah.
But-
I think I've got to go Gallup, but I'm probably wrong.
I mean, could Perryman? I don't think he's going to have 3 touchdowns again by any means, but he could have 15 to 20 targets this week.
Yeah.
Just because Jameis could just sling him the ball all game. That's just what he does.
Freaking Jameis.
But I mean, obviously, the matchup's good too. It's in Tampa. Houston has a terrible pass defense. But I'm still going Gallup on the road in Philly with a banged up Dak Prescott. Why? I can't give you any reasons why. Just because
I have no logic behind this.
I mean, Gallup has the overall better body of work, so yeah. Start who you want.
Oh, thank you so much for that amazing input. Start who you want.
Start who you want. I mean, you picked up Perryman, obviously, probably last week.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
Like, but you feel like I paid for Perryman, so I'm a jackass if I don't play him.
I mean,
and
or
he goes
do
off,
you just picked him up so nobody else could get him?
which is fine,
Yeah.
but why did you pay for him? You know what I mean? Because you expect him to do
Well, I
something.
mean, I don't know how this guy's, waiver wire works. If it's, if it's dollars you pay or is it just waiver priority? It could vary. I mean, if he spent all his money on it, and that could all depend on how his auction dollars work. Do they lose them? I mean, does it roll over, or
Yeah.
do they start with a set amount each year? And
Oh, yeah. I mean,
So, I mean,
if
there's
they're
different
taking your
factors.
money away, not up or shut up, bud. Like, go.
Yeah. I don't think Gallup or Perryman's a bad play, so but I lean Gallup.
Okay. I think I'm going to go to get Gallup, too.
All right, I think that's all of them, unless I find some more.
All right. So, as we said, we're going to jump into some of these DFS matchups, primarily focusing on the showdowns. Which one do you hit up first, Mr. Barca? Or Barca? Hux.
Hey, where's Barker at?
Yeah, he's not
He's
here.
probably snoozing.
He don't heal right now.
Snoozing.
So, what do you think?
Well, since we're talking about Perryman and Tampa Bay, Houston, let's go there.
Tampa Bay, Houston. All right. Let me see if I can find that one. I swear to God, I wrote that. Okay. It threw me off here. All right. Who you got as your captain on the Tampa Bay, Houston slate?
Well, I think there's only a couple. They're expensive, obviously, but
Oh, yeah.
I'm probably going to roll Hopkins at captain. Obviously the matchup's amazing against Tampa Bay.
Mm-hmm.
Houston's playing for the division. If they win, they win the division. So, I mean, this game could be a 40, it could be a shootout. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not even sure what the over-under is, but I'm probably going to guess it's one of the highest of the week. And
I don't have it in front of me, but I'd venture to
almost-
say you're right.
Yeah. I mean, it could very well be 40, 42, 38, something stupid like that. But no, I like Hopkins. If you want to go a little cheaper, I don't mind the Texans D just because Jameis could throw 4 picks, fumble the ball twice. I mean,
So even in these high matchup, potentially high scoring games, that's one that people get afraid of, is playing the defenses. Now I will tell you, my lineup does not have a defense in it, but why be afraid of it, right? Because I mean, I've seen 35, 40 points scored against a team, and they're still positive.
Yeah.
got some sacks, some picks. You know, the one defensive touchdown can turn the tides.
Yeah, I mean, Jameis is most turnovers by any quarterback. He's been sacked more than any quarterback.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Jameis is primed to provide that defense with some points.
oh, yeah.
So the play I actually went with for this week is actually going to be for my captain. I went with Duke Johnson. It's a price play for me. Duke's 8,100 as your captain. Following that up with O.J. Howard. We've got Godwin out. You've got Mike Evans out. So O.J. Howard, I think he's going to be a big benefactor, along with Cameron Brate, who's pretty cheap. He's at 70. Well, not cheap, I guess, but he's at 7,200. And then we start sliding over to the big guys.
Yeah.
Nook, Watson. You're able to squeeze both these guys in. And then I've got a coin flip here. Now, I'm probably going to sound stupid for it even being a coin flip, but I like Hyde or Justin Watson.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's talking about Perryman, Justin Watson's going to be the number 2.
There we go.
And he could very easily get those 10 to 15 targets.
Both of them could.
Yeah, obviously.
But who's going to draw the coverage, right? Who's going to draw the number one guy? Perryman.
Perryman should, yeah, for sure.
And I mean, when we look at a talent across the spread of this field, if you're really going to shadow coverage, you're probably going to focus more on your tight ends than anything.
Yeah.
That could leave Watson as a huge play, even possibly as your captain. I didn't write down the price on this one like I did most of them, but yeah, those are my plays. I just think Duke Johnson or maybe even O.J. Howard as your captain this week is probably the way to go.
Yeah. Honestly, I built a lineup. I know I said Hopkins, which, I mean, I think he hasn't really had that big, he's had one double-digit catch performance. He had 11 catches.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, he hasn't had that, 10, 12 catch pushing 200-yard game this year, and it could very well come this week.
Yeah, so to kind of recap on that lineup, you can do the same thing, basically the same lineup, by switching O.J. Howard and Duke Johnson.
Yeah.
I mean, still get all the same players in there. So
some cheaper guys that could help you out if you probably don't want to do this if you're only building one lineup, but if you're building multiple lineups for this game, and if Will Fuller happens to be out this week, Kiki Kute is only 800. He's only 800. I mean, that's insane.
That's dirt cheap.
Which, I mean, if Fuller plays, then I'm not playing Kiki, but because he was inactive last week. But Ishmael Hyman for the Buccaneers, he's gonna be the number 3 this week.
Mm-hmm.
He's 3,000. So I mean,
and Jameis, as bad as he is at certain aspects of his game, spreading the ball is not one of his weaknesses.
No, not at all.
The guy can get the ball around. I mean, if we look back just a year ago, we had a guy with 95 targets in Adam Humphries, and then two guys over 100.
Oh yeah,
like he's not just locking in on a single guy. That's the reason I don't necessarily expect Perryman, who's drawing the number one coverage this week, to have such a boomer week like most people are.
Yep.
So want to move on to your Bills and the Pats?
Yeah, it's gonna be a rough showdown, I think, because I'm not really sure what kind of a game to expect. I think it's gonna be a shit show. I mean, it could be a 17-10 game or something.
It might be the game to where you play both defenses, to be honest with you. But it also could be. I mean, these guys, they both teams can score points. New England doesn't look like they could as of late.
No, not at all.
I personally, to before we go into the plays on this one, I think Buffalo wins this.
I hope you're right. I mean, obviously it's in New England, so it's tough.
I think that and when I say a 2-score game, like think 9 points, 10 points. I do think it's a 2-score game though.
Yeah, Yeah, the defense is going to have to play another stellar performance. They played good last week against Pittsburgh. In Pittsburgh, tough environment, but they are also going against Duck Hodges, not Tom Brady.
So they're not equal, is what you're saying?
Yeah,
pretty
probably
close.
closer than you think.
Yeah, closer than you would have said a year ago, right?
Yeah. But that Steelers defense last week, I mean, they got an insane pass rush.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, that whole – I mean, I know we're not talking about the Steelers right now, but I think their defense sets up to play against Buffalo better than New England's does, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I could see. I mean, obviously, the first time they played this year it was 16-10. So, I mean, I kind of expect a similar style game.
But listen, that's where it's hard to judge these games because it was a couple years ago. Last year, I think it was Atlanta and New Orleans had like a 48-46 game, like early in the season, into the season. Both offenses firing on all cylinders, and it's like 17-10. What in God's name happened here? So, yeah. So who's your play on this?
Honestly, I'm gonna lean. I like James White on the Patriots side. If I don't go one of the defenses, and I guess I would lean. In showdown purposes, I guess I would lean the Pats D just because they're at home. Mm-hmm. But I like both. I like to play both defenses.
Okay.
And the Bills D will probably be. I think they'll be owned, but as a captain, I think they'll be pretty low owned. So James White's my favorite captain, I guess.
Okay. So on mine, let me write something down here. All right. What I've got this week, in price wise, I think they're fairly interchangeable. But I went with Josh Allen. The running, adding on to the passing. I mean, the guy might rush for 2 touchdowns. You don't know. It's really hard to keep Josh Allen out of the end zone, either through the air or on the ground.
Oh yeah.
To look at Josh Allen to stand there, he's a bigger guy, right?
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't look fleet of foot, but he's mobile, and these guys give the Patriots fits. Mobile guys, if you look back at who's beat them or who's given their best games, it's usually the guys who can move, with their legs, who can move the ball with their legs, and that's Josh Allen. So I'm playing Josh Allen at 15-6 at my captain spot, and what this allows me to do, it's an expensive play, so it I guess it limits me to do. So I can squeeze in James White and Singletary. Okay, it's 2 kind of expensive plays with that. Go with the Patriots defense because, as we said, it could be a 40-point game. You still have value. Josh Allen protects the ball fairly well, but that's not to say that he's not going to get sacked 2 or 3 times because it's the Patriots defense. And if one of those is a strip sack that turns into a defensive touchdown, it barely hurts Josh Allen, but it's 30 points for the Patriots. You know what I mean? So with the Patriots defense, I'm going to go Sony Michel. Now, I'm putting Michel in there because I think they're going to try to shorten the game.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to get a lot of carries this week. And then this is a play that you actually turned me on to before the show, and that's Tyler Kroft.
Yeah, I mean, at $400 for Tyler Kroft, I mean, he had a touchdown last week. Yeah, it was his only catch, but I mean, I would rather pay $400 for Tyler Kroft and potentially get those couple targets, red zone targets, than pay up to the starting tight end Dawson Knox, who's at $3,600.
Yeah.
Who only had 1 target last week himself.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'd much rather pay all the way down to Kroft and hope he gets the red zone.
Trust me, I completely understand where you're coming from on that. So, yeah, that's really my plays. And like I said, White and Allen, I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
Like, Allen's a great play. I think White's, you like White. I think Allen for me is the captain. It's kind of I'm sure he's going to be very highly owned at captain, but I feel like that's the route you got to go with him.
I agree.
So going over to the Niners-Rams game.
Niners-Rams.
So who you got?
Man, you can go many different ways on this game for real. I like both defenses. Mm-hmm. I lean San Fran's, even though they're banged up still. I mean, are they getting anybody back this week? I mean, because they were down like 5 starters last week, and it showed against the Falcons.
I don't know, and I've got 2% battery, so I can't really look. So,
I mean, Julio Jones tore up the Niners last week.
Yeah, but Julio Jones is going to get 20 targets whenever he's the main guy anyhow.
The defense showed.
Related to that, how did Austin Hooper do the past week?
I don't know.
I think he had like 3 for 30.
Probably nothing.
It wasn't good, and this is why I am anti Austin Hooper.
I mean,
I'm just going to tell you, this
definitely not been the Austin Hooper of the first half of the season.
the guy got you to the lead of your division, and he probably got you knocked out of the first round of the playoffs is what he did. So yeah,
If I don't go,
anyone but Hooper.
yeah, if I don't go the Niners D and captain spot, I like Manny Sanders this week. He's a little bit more consistent than Debo.
3 for 20, by the way. 3 for 20.
Yeah. He seems to be getting a little bit more targets than Debo. So I like a little bit better, safer play in the captain spot with Manny. Obviously, I could go Kittle, but you got to pay up a little bit more to get him.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I don't mind him. But I'm probably going cheaper on the Rams side. I like Robert Woods.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon Cooks is insanely cheap this week. I mean, I know he hasn't done much at all, but he's only $5K, which is pretty cheap for a piece of that offense.
Brandon Cooks. I'm sorry. You're
Yeah.
like, wait a second.
Brandon Cooks. Yeah.
Robert Woods. I was looking at Robert Woods. I'm like, he's freaking 82. What are you talking about? Gotcha.
And then I like Tevin Coleman. I know he's not getting a whole lot of carries. He had 4 carries, 40 yards, but he was the only running back out of the 3 that did not fumble last week. So maybe, and he's not fumbled at all this year. So maybe
Bruce Arians ain't the coach, bud.
maybe he gets more carries this coming week.
So my play kind of in both directions, either as the cheap add-on or even as a captain to where you can just kind of stuff the rest of your roster. Matt Breida is my play. So with him as captain at 5,100, you can get either quarterback, Goff or Jimmy G. You can get Kittle, Kupp, Gurley, and Woods. That's a hell of a lineup.
That's a hell of a lineup.
Especially if Burrito's able to, break off for 100 yards in the game. You know what I mean? So that ends up, I think you have money left over. Now on the other side, to try to go a little bit, not cheap but cheaper on a play, and I don't think he's going to be very highly owned with Everett coming back, at least not for the captain. I like Higbee.
Yeah.
Now as a captain, he's 10-2, which is a little pricey.
A little pricey for
a timeshare tight end. But man, I mean, 3 games in a row of over 100 yards. I think he's gotten the
seven catches, over 100 yards, 3 straight games.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why they would go away from the guy.
The
I mean, they won 2 of those 3 games.
The trust is there, right?
Yeah. I mean,
we've seen this in the past with Jared Goff and Robert Woods. Once he starts building trust,
oh yeah.
I mean, just feeding Robert Woods targets through a daggone fire hose.
Yeah.
I feel like he found this with Higbee this year.
And they very well could just keep it going. I mean,
So
Everett is going to be on the field to play, but that
who's
doesn't
to
mean
say
he's
that
going
he's-
to take away for anything.
yeah, I'm not worried about Everett this week. But if you start with Higbee, you could go Higbee, Jimmy G, Kittle, and I don't have it in front of me. I think Jimmy G and Goff are basically the same price.
Yeah, Jimmy G's
so
200
the-
cheaper.
Jimmy G, well, you might not be able to get in Goff with this. Well, you could, but I'll show you how. So you can go Jimmy G and or Goff if you go with Breida as your as one of your plays. If you go with Jimmy G, you get Kittle, Kupp, Woods, and then Robbie Gould. Now I go Gould because I don't know Zerline's status.
Yeah.
As of right now, he's questionable. I tend to lean Zerline. Love me some Greg the Leg. He's honestly just a better kicker. This should be a high scoring game though.
Possibly.
I mean, there's a lot of talent on both teams. So there's my lineups for that one. On to New Orleans, Tennessee.
Yeah. Let's do it.
All right, I'll start with this one because you're going to tear me down. I like Taysom Hill. I like Taysom Hill as either the captain, and when you put him in as a captain for 3,300, yes, he's risky, absolutely.
He's too risky for me.
Absolutely risky, but he's cheap. Even having him as the cheap captain, you have Michael Thomas, Drew Brees, A.J. Brown, Alvin Kamara, and Will Lutz. That's what you can afford.
Yeah, I mean that's solid there. So I mean, if you get, I mean, I get it. I get that he has the potential. Just like last week, he scored double-digit points. If you can get double digits at 2,200, I mean, you're looking really good. I mean, solid, especially if you're playing the top guys there and they perform how they should.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's if you're only making one lineup, I wouldn't recommend it. But if you're gonna, throw a few handful in there, or if you're one of them guys that do 20 plus, then yeah, you can plug in Taysom Hill in a couple.
Well, I don't do 20 plus, but
Well, no,
typically on the features, like the ones with a $3 play for 20,000 to first.
Yeah,
I'll usually run 5 or 6 lineups.
yeah.
Okay. Ironically, I do better when I run 1 or 2.
Well, yeah,
And I
because
don't put any more thought into it. I'm like,
No,
this
but-
guy, this guy, this guy.
usually that first lineup you make is, for me, it's usually my best lineup.
Yep.
And I mean, on the main slate, it's happened to me all year. I'll make my first lineup, and I'm like, I'm only gonna do 1 or 2, and then I'll go in and make 6 or 7 more right before 1 o'clock, and none of them do any freaking good, except for the very first one I made. It'll do all right. But instead of being up however much money I would be up, I'm either not up at all because I've wasted the freaking buy-ins on the others,
Yep.
or I'm breaking even.
Trust me. I know. I literally know exactly what you're talking
Yeah.
about.
So
I mean, I'm usually running, and sorry to go into my gambling problems, but I'll run. I'll usually run a $10, maybe two
this isn't
$10 lineups.
DraftKings isn't gambling.
You're correct. It is a skill game.
It's a hobby for me. I
But
mean,
it's the reason it's legal. Is it's actually the people who are good are consistent winners. They've actually proven that. That's the
Yeah.
reason it's legalized in most states. But yeah, that's where I screw up. I usually pick a 1 or 2 guys that I'm like, all right, these guys are it, and then I'll overanalyze,
yeah. Oh yeah.
and then I'll be like, no, Taysom Hill, all right, but Michael Thomas, Derrick Henry. And then I'm just cramming lineups in constantly. And then where I screw up, and this actually happened to me last week, the lineup was with Michael Thomas. And I built 2 or 3 lineups. I'm like, well, that looks fine. Let's see what it looks like this way before submitting. I didn't submit a single Michael Thomas lineup. That's what won.
Wow.
Like the top 500 spots were Michael Thomas
Yeah.
captain, as they should be.
Right.
But I'm like, whoa. Because, I mean, I was on Taysom Hill last week. I'm like, heck yeah. But
You were. I remember.
so one of the other, I actually I'm going to run 3 lineups this week in this matchup. I do have a Michael Thomas captain lineup. That's got Lutz, Taysom Hill. I mean, because you got to get skinny if you're putting Michael Thomas in as your captain. Same way with Drew Brees. And then you got to skip the quarterbacks entirely. You can't afford them. All right, A.J. Brown, Alvin Kamara, and Jared Cook. That's about all you're going to be able to get in there. A fairly cheap play, cheap-ish, Corey Davis. You don't really know what he's going to do. If you think that, if you're thinking that maybe Tannehill has a decent game, maybe the play is to try to get both of those Titan receivers. So, and I know you like Tajay Sharp in this lineup.
Yeah, I mean,
as well.
I think he's a good value play. He's only $800 with Humphrey still out. He's the number 3.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't mind plugging him in. And if you think the Titans are going to be playing from behind, I don't mind Dion Lewis for 1,800. I mean,
Oh man,
but I mean, if you look back at the games that they've been trailing, he's not been too bad. And at this price, I mean, he scored 9.1 DraftKings last week. They were playing a little bit from behind. But I mean, if you go back and look at the Carolina game, he 9 points. I mean, he had 5 catches that game. And then, I mean, so if you think they're going to be playing from behind, he could get some targets and pay
Yeah.
off. I mean, it's 1,800. It ain't nothing.
yeah. I mean, if you're trying to save somewhere else, I mean, he's as risky, if not riskier, than Taysom Hill. I mean, it's pretty close.
Yeah.
Another one I ran because as me and you were talking pre-show, it just felt like we were all Saints.
Yeah.
It's like Saints, this guy Saints, the whole Saints with one, with one Titan. So I threw together a Derrick Henry captain lineup, and to be honest with you, I kind of like it. I'm going to continue on my trend though. I got Derrick Henry as captain. I got Taysom Hill at 2,200, Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara, A.J. Brown, and Will Lutz at 4,000. So with any of these, I think with almost all of my lineups, I have a little bit left over.
Yeah.
Because there's guys in there that just, I mean, for Taysom Hill for 2,200, so some of the 2,800 point plays will never score a touchdown, at least in my book. So those are my plays on the New Orleans Tennessee games. You got any more you wanted to speak of on that?
No, I think you covered them all. And I covered the value plays I like with Sharp and Lewis.
It's about time for a big
and I don't-
Traquan Smith game, isn't it?
I mean,
This is
he's-
about his time of the year.
well, I mean, he scored a touchdown. What I say earlier, 3 out of the last 4 games, so or 2 out of the last 3. So I mean, he's getting targets. I also like the Titans D. They're 2,600, pretty cheap at home. I think that might be a good play. 'Cause I don't think this is going to be. I really don't think it's going to be a shootout type game. I think it's going to be a ground and pound type 23-20 type ball game that, you know, the Titans could get a couple sacks, you know, maybe they get a defensive touchdown. But, you know, I don't know what the weather's going to be like this week. I know it's going to be a little warmer here, so they're probably not dealing with too much cold down in Tennessee this week. But
Tennessee gets
could.
winter too, man.
I know, but it's going to be almost 50 here this weekend. So.
Yeah, true.
So we'll see, but it's just the type of the game that I think it's going to be. So my lineup will probably be. I still like Thomas to get his
Because he's Michael Thomas.
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, he could go 12 for 150 and score 1 touchdown, and the Titans D could still be a good play.
Yeah, I mean, if he gets his alone, that doesn't make that defense a bad play.
Right. I mean,
And Michael Thomas could score 14 points, but if there's 2 sacks and an interception, I mean, Titans defense paid off.
yeah, the Titans defense isn't bad. They've been playing pretty good this year, and that's a must-win game for them if they want any hope of the playoffs.
Yeah, but as we talked about in the pre-show, New Orleans has to keep winning too.
Oh yeah, it's an important game for both.
Yeah, so I don't think that New Orleans walks away with it because I think the Titans are too good of a team to just walk on.
Yeah.
But I think New Orleans comes out ahead. Quite frankly, it should be in my opinion, New Orleans versus Baltimore Super Bowl.
Oof.
Hard to beat the same team twice. Just remember that.
Yeah. Go Buffalo. Hey, they can make a run, man. They got a good defense.
Yeah, they do. But I'm leaning Ravens though.
It's hard to go against them right now. They're hot.
Speaking of Ravens,
yeah, let's talk about
Next
the
game.
Ravens and the Browns. The last team to beat Baltimore, Cleveland Browns.
really hard to beat a team twice, especially when you're horrible. So,
It's in Cleveland this week. You never know. Might be some magic up there in Cleveland this week.
yeah, I don't know about
Probably
all
not.
that.
Yeah.
Just, whatever. So, can we agree? It's chalk for the captain.
I mean, you would imagine that Lamar is going to be the most owned, but man, is he expensive.
Yeah, but you have to do it, don't you?
I think so.
I mean,
he's
even if
pretty
you-
much 2 players. So
If you don't buy Lamar, you can't. It's pointless to get Mark Ingram. So, I mean, what are you going to do? Put in Chubb?
no.
I mean, if this was Chubb alone, without Kareem Hunt there, maybe.
Maybe.
Because I think you could build a quality lineup. So, man, I got a
Yeah,
second.
I mean,
I got second place in about a 2,000 man tournament with Lamar Jackson as captain, and he was expensive like this.
Yeah.
So I think it's Lamar Jackson. Now here's where it gets fun. You can put in Nick Chubb, put in Hollywood Brown. Hell, you can put in Odell Beckham Jr. And from that point forward, good luck. If you might be able to squeeze Landry in, and then good luck.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to play Miles Boykin at 2,800. Maybe even throwing a Nick Boyle in there at 1,800.
I've got Hurst and Boyle as my plays.
Yeah.
You went with Boykin, I know. But
Yeah, I mean, they're right next to each other. Another play that I have wrote down is only $200 is Damian Ratley. He started for the Browns last week, which he didn't play much at all.
Njoku's back, man.
Yeah, but they sat him last week. He played the week before that, then he sits last week. So you really don't know what they're going to do
There's
with
your
him.
problem. You just don't know.
But I mean, Ratley had 2 targets. I mean, he had 2 catches, 33 yards. But if you can get that out of a $200 guy that'll allow you to afford all these other plays, risky for sure.
But I mean, okay. So out of a $200 play, what else are you going to cram in there? You still can't afford Mark Ingram. I mean,
yeah, probably not.
if you do Ratley instead of Hurst.
Yeah, that's safe.
Maybe you move up from Odell Beckham to Mark Andrews,
There you go.
but that's about it. And that might be the play, because if Andrews, can get that 200 or 100 yards with the touchdown or 2 touchdowns, he's going to outweigh the $200 that you wasted on another player that got nothing.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that's a bad play.
No, I mean,
But that's a Ratley. He gives you a pretty good chance to bring a 0 too.
oh yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I mean, but with that, you're still banking on Nick Boyle getting a touchdown, and I just can't bank on Nick Boyle getting a touchdown ever. Although as we talked about pre-show, Lamar Jackson treats these tight ends kind of the way Andrew Luck did in Indianapolis. Just spreads the ball.
Yeah.
All of them get theirs. Nobody's doing great really, but Andrews. No, he literally treats them exactly the way they were treated in Indianapolis. So
it's Lamar, or I mean, I don't know if you can play anybody from Cleveland in the captain spot. I mean, Landry maybe, but I mean, Marlon Humphrey's probably going to be covering him in the slot like he does everybody else.
See,
So
I still believe Nick Chubb is an elite football talent. But even if they're winning,
sure.
They're winning, are they going to give the ball to Kareem Hunt? If they're losing, are they going to throw the ball to Kareem Hunt? That infuriates me. Kareem Hunt is like a bulked up Superman version of Duke Johnson. And it's ridiculous.
I mean,
with how they're using him.
Yeah. Chubb ran for 165 and 3 touchdowns earlier in the year against Baltimore.
Yeah.
Is that going to happen again? Probably not.
Oh no.
But I mean,
but how will they beat Baltimore? It's got to be through Chubb, right?
Yeah. Yeah, Hunt and Chubb, I mean, it's not like they're both getting there still. I mean, Chubb had 20 touches last week. Hunt had like 13 or 14. So I mean, they're both getting there. Hunt had 12 touches last week. I mean, that's about what he's averaging over
Let me
every
see
week.
what I can
12, 11, 12, 10, 12, 11. So yeah, about 12 touches a week for Hunt. Chubb's still getting 17, 18 plus.
Now you've got my curiosity going, because I feel like I can create a good lineup with Nick Chubb as a captain. Something I'd be happy with.
I mean, you can create one, but I mean,
you're not going to win, but you can create it. That's where you're going. You b-hole. All right. And it's always so painful to leave someone you view as quality on the bench, right? Like to put in, let's say, so do you go Kareem Hunt or Jarvis Landry or Hollywood Brown or Beckham, I suppose?
I don't know. I like Kareem Hunt this week.
You like Kareem Hunt this week?
But if you're going Chubb at captain, I mean, I guess they're both good plays. I guess it depends on if you think the game's going to go. They're going to need to, which they are. They're going to need to run the ball, keep Lamar off the field.
Lamar's going to get his. Like, I don't care if he plays for 15 seconds.
No, I know. I'm just saying you're wanting the game plan. How do you think this game's going to go? Cleveland going to try to run the ball.
Ugh. All right, so
I mean, you could play both.
But here's what I tried to, whenever I go to squeeze in Nick Chubb, put him in. Obviously, you can't put in a lineup without Lamar Jackson.
No.
Like, you're insane if you think.
I mean, there's going to be some out there, but yeah, I mean, he's going to be 80+%.
It's literally people wasting money.
Yeah, I mean,
if you don't have Lamar Jackson, you're wasting money. But then I'm looking, so how can I afford this? I'm like, who's the best receiver they've got? Mark Andrews, basically, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, so let's find something cheap, all right? Hayden Hurst.
Mm-hmm.
All right, man, I kind of like Kareem Hunt this week, if they're going to really try to force the run, Kareem Hunt gets some extra touches. And then I realized the only other thing I like that I'm looking at ends up being 3 freaking tight ends for the daggone Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not sure I like this
I just threw one together also while you were talking with Chubb at captain, and he ended up being my only Cleveland Brown.
I could see that.
And then I have Hollywood, Lamar, Hayden Hurst, Mark Andrews, Miles Boykin.
Don't hate it. Let me see what I get. Man, I'm sorry.
But it's
sorry, listeners, if this isn't fun.
Yeah, I mean, Hopefully, you're at least learning a little bit of something.
Yeah, like how we waste money.
Well, I mean, there's
No, I'm just playing.
there's different ways to. It's all depend on what you think the game theory is going to be on that game. How do you think the game is going to play out? And that's how you need to build these lineups.
So listen to this. All right, here's one that I'm kind of shocked I could get together. So Nick Chubb is my captain.
Yeah.
I could go Hollywood, and I don't mind Justice Hill this week.
Okay.
He's dirt
Okay.
cheap. He's 800.
Well, yeah,
He's
I mean,
800. I
he
think
is.
he's been getting a little bit more opportunity. He's not been great, but if he gets 3 points, he's paying off, right? With 3 points.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, but I can get either Mark Ingram or Mark Andrews, Lamar Jackson, and Justin Tucker. Not horrible.
Not horrible.
Not so. I'm just wondering what if I pulled him out. See, I'm just so concerned about putting too many freaking tight ends in for Baltimore. That's what the
But, I
killer for me
mean,
is. So
there's been multiple games that Andrews or Hurst or Boyle, Andrews. There's been
Yeah, I know.
there's been a few games that 2 of them have produced. So
I'm just saying it's a scary situation to be
It
in.
is.
Man. It's a scary situation. So, all right, I'm gonna screenshot a couple of these because I'll play them. I put my money where my mouth is on these. Trust me, every one I've told you, there will be a lineup. Every single one of them. All right, so moving on to Carolina, Indianapolis.
all right.
Who is your favorite captain? You already know who mine is.
Yeah, I know who yours is. Man, I don't know. The more expensive route, I think Marlon Mack has a bounce back week. Carolina's run D is one of the worst in the league.
Yep.
It's in Indy, so I mean, I could see a bounce back for Mack.
Somebody torched them earlier this year.
Carolina, everybody torches Carolina.
Is that whenever? I feel like that was like the Miles Sanders breakout or something, or a Rojo monster game or
it
something.
was
Not
it was
monster. but
Geis's breakout like 3 weeks
It
ago.
was Geis. That's what it was.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, they're one of the worst in the league. So if I want to pay down, I don't mind the Colts D going to go up against Will Greer in his first start.
Okay.
So that's my 2 favorite captain, cheap and expensive.
So, I like the Colts D.
Yeah.
Then I like the exact opposite.
Yeah,
I like Will Greer.
yeah.
And go ahead.
I'm just saying. I'm interested to see what the kid can do. I mean, he's slinging around at West Virginia. Hopefully, they're not holding anything back. I mean, they have no reason to.
They have.
The only reason they're starting him is to see what they got.
There we go.
So I mean,
So
let
what-
the kid go out there and sling it. I mean, he's
What-
been the backing up all year. He should know. He knows the playbook. He's been working with these guys.
What do we got to lose?
Exactly nothing.
What do you got to lose? You're out of the playoffs.
Yeah, nothing
Right.
to lose at all.
You want to find out if you need to address quarterback in the draft.
Yeah,
So get the kid out there, let him throw the ball 30, 40 times.
yeah.
Well, what's it hurt? Now, I know you got Christian McCaffrey. I get
Well,
it.
yeah, but I mean, McCaffrey could have 10 catches this game. So I mean,
Well, here's my theory. The box might have 9 in it at
Oh, yeah.
times. You know what I mean? They're going to make Will Greer test him. And what's that going to do? Curtis Samuel's a very capable receiver, and DJ Moore is really getting in that upper echelon.
oh
right
yeah,
now.
DJ Moore's been amazing this year,
So if
especially
you,
the second half of the season.
I'm putting Will Greer, DJ Moore, Curtis Samuel, and CMC in. Now, it gets dicey here.
Yeah, but if you could fit all them in, that's pretty good.
So I like Inman.
Yeah. His first game there last week, but he knows the system. He was with Frank Reich in San Diego.
Yep.
So he knows the system. That's why he was able to come in and play right away.
And I might like McLaughlin. McLaughlin.
The kicker, yeah.
Yeah, so that I think I might still have I might have a couple $100 left over at that play. So I believe, long story short, I think I could switch kickers if I want to.
Yeah.
Either direction. I don't have it in front of me right now, but yeah. So that's my thing. I truly believe in Will Greer. And
Yeah,
once
he
again,
could come out and light it up.
he has nothing to lose.
No, not at all. I mean,
It- The dude was what? Was he undrafted free agent? 4th round or 3rd?
nah, he was drafted. It was late. But
Yeah, it wasn't where we wanted or we figured he would be. now what's he doing? He's playing for a freaking roster spot.
3rd round pick.
Was he a 3rd rounder?
3rd round.
Okay, so he's playing not just playing for a roster spot. Excuse me. He's playing potentially for a starting job next year.
Oh, definitely. I
He's
mean,
playing to keep them from trying to trade up to get Tua.
yeah. I mean, this is what they need to do. They need to just unleash him. And it's to see whether they're going to keep Cam Newton or not.
Yep.
I mean, if this kid comes
I think
out,
Cam's gone regardless.
yeah, I mean, it could very well possibly be gone. But I mean, if this kid comes out and lights up these last 2 weeks, you feel a lot better going into the offseason on, fixing some other holes.
Yep. So,
But yeah, I mean, I don't mind the Greer play. I mean, that's why I also like the Colts D play because I mean, he could very well go out and throw 4 picks in his first game.
literally, we'll play both of them.
Yeah.
So it'll be Will Greer, and I think he's going to do great. But I'm also not an idiot. The Colts defense, if Will Greer is horrible, the Colts defense is the captain to own. So
Yeah.
I think it's literally one or the other. I don't think Will Greer's just a middle of the road guy this game. He's either horrible or great. I know that's a huge leap, right?
Yeah.
But the Colts don't have a horrible defense.
No, not at all.
But Will Greer's got weapons. He's got 3 of them, and they're all pretty damn good. And I know you like Ian Thomas play, which may I don't think I can squeeze him in. Maybe if I switch kickers.
Greg Olson's back this week, but I mean, Ian Thomas is cheap. He's only $2,000.
Yep.
And I mean, I think he just needs to be the guy. I mean, Greg Olson's old. He's banged up every week. Seems like he's coming back from concussion this week. So we'll see.
So let me ask you, Marlon Mack or DJ Moore?
Both.
Can't afford both.
I can.
How?
I have them both in. This.
I'm saying with Will Greer as my captain.
Oh yeah. Well, I got Mack at captain,
Dummy.
but he's more than Will Greer, isn't he?
Yeah, probably. So I could also do Will Greer, McCaffrey, McLaughlin, whatever the hell his name is, DJ Moore, Curtis Samuel, and Ian Thomas. So Ian Thomas instead of Inman. I mean, even still, I've got $400 to play with it. I could move some things around if I wanted to, but
Yeah.
that's an interesting week. Last one, or interesting play, excuse me. Last one, as far as that's currently available for pricing on DraftKings, is going to be the Chicago KC game. Who you liking there?
I don't know. Haven't looked at that one.
All right, I don't.
Give me 2 seconds. I'll
No, all
load
right.
it up.
I don't have the pricing up. The one I was able to squeeze together, though, I went with Montgomery as my captain. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't love anyone in this game. You always love Patrick Mahomes, but I don't love Patrick Mahomes to at 18,000 for your captain spot. Looking, whenever I scroll down, looking at Montgomery at 11-1, which allows me a little bit of flexibility. So I can go with, do I want to do Allen Robinson? I can do, you have to put in Mahomes because, I mean, he's freaking Patrick Mahomes. If you're not putting him in, what are you doing? Got to go with Butker because he's always solid. Let's see. So actually, the one I've got is Montgomery, Miller. So Anthony Miller, Patrick Mahomes. Then the option between Allen Robinson, Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, and then Hardman. It's a risky play, we know it. And then Butker. I think I'm going to see if I can squeeze anything else in there, but that's the current one I've got situated right now. Have you got one assembled yet, there, Chief?
I was just looking. I actually like Tariq Cohen over Montgomery this week. He's $300 cheaper in the captain spot, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, $300 cheaper. He's been getting targeted like crazy lately. 10 targets this past week, 7 catches. He had 6 catches, 4, 7, 5. I mean, he's been getting targets. I think they're going to be playing from behind. So, I mean, that's the game script factored into this.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I like Cohen at captain. That could fit Mahomes. Also don't mind Mahomes at captain, but it's harder to put together a lineup. I like Kelce. I'm just assembling this as we go. Kicker. Either kicker. Probably lean Butker.
Yeah, but I mean Butker for obvious reasons. More likely to score a ton of points and move the ball at least within range. Man, whenever I try to get Allen Robinson. It's like Allen Robinson's the killer for me. If I put him in, I feel like I almost can't afford anything else I like.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe do Allen Robinson and Anthony Miller, and then I'm trying to, I'm working in a Eddie Pinheiro, or Pinheiro. So that'd be Dave Montgomery, Harrison Butker, excuse me, Mahomes, Miller, Pinheiro, and Allen Robinson. I don't love that.
It's too bad that Damian Williams is actually playing this week because I would love to play Spencer Ware at 2,400.
Damn it, Damian.
Yeah, I know. I mean, Spencer Ware had 7 carries last week. It's his, he's been back with the team for 2 games. This is his 3rd week back with the team. But Damian Williams is back this week, so I don't know if I can. But they still may roll out Spencer Ware. So Spencer Ware at 2,400, cheap dart play. Jesper Horsted, 1,600.
I like Horsted. I liked Horsted last week.
Yeah.
He let me down. I think with literally a catch for -1 yards. Like, come on, Horsted. You Horsted. But okay, so he gets 3 catches for 15 yards. Oh, he's getting some value there. 4.5 points is worth more than more than his price. So, and it opens up obviously a lot of flexibility at that point. So,
I threw a whole one together here. I'm not sure if I would actually play this, but just because
this one kills me being the featured one. I just don't like it.
Yeah, the Sunday night game. I got Cohen at captain, and then Mahomes, Kelsey, and then I got the Chiefs defense, and then I got Horsted and Allen Robinson on the other side. I'm not really sure if I want to play Robinson, so I could drop down a little bit and maybe move that Chiefs D because I'm not sure about the Chiefs D.
I was going to say the Chiefs D gets scary. I mean,
they do.
Trubisky's played good.
He has, but Chiefs can get some sacks too, man.
I know. So, I mean, honestly, the play might very well be going with Mahomes, and I don't have it in front of me right now. I clicked off of it, but I think you could do Mahomes. So Montgomery, let's say Miller, Mahomes, Trubisky, and then a player like Horsted, Hardman, someone like that, and Harrison Butker. I believe you can squeeze that in too. So here's the killer. Don't worry about spending all of your money.
Yeah. Oh yeah. These showdowns, you can leave all kind of money out there if you want to.
And you're going to. I mean, that's what's going to happen. You're going to leave $2,000 on the table probably, or $1,500 on the table. Don't look for ways to spend it. If you find a guy you like, play it. Play the roster you like, because more often than not, the guy who's walking away with $20,000 has like $2,000 left over because he played freaking Miles Boykin, Nick Boyle, and Hayden Hurst. Piece of crap.
Yeah, I mean these showdowns, and especially if you want to get a little different, because obviously there's all kind of duplicated lineups in these, just because there's especially if you're spending all the money, you're within a couple $100 of all the money, odds are it's going to be duplicated by somebody. Which isn't always a bad thing, because there's been many times that first place has been split among 1,000 people.
Oh yeah, no.
But I mean,
gosh, I finished like 42nd in a lineup. I had the 3rd best lineup.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I mean? It's like, wait a second, I finished 42nd, and there was like 1 through 30.
Yeah.
And then, like 30 through 41 or 31 through 41 are the same team. I'm like, what? This is horseshit. I got 3rd place. Let's call it what it is. I got 3rd place,
Nope.
But it is what it is. I mean, especially when you're dealing with literally 200,000 people, or 220,000 people in some of these lineups.
Yeah, I mean, that's where contest selection comes into play. But I mean, if you're wanting to play for the big money, then you're going to be playing against the 200,000 entries.
But with that being said, let's also be real, okay? If you want to realize whether you're good or you're lucky, go play a 2,000, 5,000 man single entry. Even a triple entry. I don't mind triple entries.
I like the 3 entry max.
But going against a 20 entry play, like, you're playing someone who's playing just total bullshit.
Yeah.
And total bullshit sometimes wins.
Yeah. it does.
I'll tell you what the killer is, though. Whenever you look at it and you're like, how in God's name did he afford to assemble that team? Because every now and again, it's just like a very chalky play, and you're like, wait a second. He has Mike Thomas and Mike Evans and Austin Hooper.
It's because he
and
played.
Drew Brees, and you're like,
It's because he played Taysom Hill.
no. I mean, I've seen some of them, but I'm like, there's no way he could afford that. And I get to look, and I'm like, I'll be damned, he did afford that. So, but yeah, don't. And one thing I can tell you, if I could ever preach anything about this, the heads-up matchups, don't be afraid of defenses.
Oh, not at all.
My first
every week I play
$500
'em.
win
Yeah.
was a defensive captain.
No,
I picked the Patriots. It was like week 2 or 3.
Yeah.
My buddy Justin Rippeth, he had actually texted me, and he was like, "Who do you like this week on the showdown?" I'm like, "Man, I don't know, man. I something about the Patriots, their defense playing lights out. If they score a touchdown on defense, that's usually like ends up as a 30-point, captain."
yeah, and that was before the Patriots defense shot way up there in price too.
Yeah. And by
Yeah,
God,
yeah.
I had a freaking lineup.
Yeah.
It's like Patriots defense. Now, the killer on that one, nobody cares, but
No.
it was like Tom Brady was the killer. Everyone else did what they needed to do. Tom Brady was like 14 points.
How he's done
expecting
all year.
20. Yeah. So, but anyway, guys, hope we didn't bore you too much. We do appreciate you tuning in. Excuse me.
Two and in.
Tua.
There'll be some Tua talk here in a few weeks when we start talking
Yeah.
about the rookies.
Oh, actually, this is going to probably be this may be the last time they hear us before. Some of them hear us before the playoffs, the college football playoffs. At least round 1.
Yeah. Well, that's next Saturday. So
Yeah, but some people won't
Yeah.
listen till Sunday.
good. Well, who you got?
So I'm going to be with the homer on this one. I think Ohio State beats Clemson.
Yeah.
I think LSU walks, and I mean walks, on Oklahoma.
And I think that's what most people expect to happen is Ohio State LSU. I'm rolling with that too, as much as it pains me. But
I think LSU wins the national championship by 30 points.
no way,
It wouldn't shock me.
you're freaking retarded.
I hope Ohio
Listen,
State wins. I really do,
listen.
man.
If LSU goes out there and beats Ohio State by 30, I'll be the happiest guy out there. But
You know what? Joe Burrow is from 20 minutes away from my
Yeah.
house.
yep,
Like, awesome. I hope the guy, I wish him all the accolades. I'm going to tell you right now, I was listening to, what was it? Oh, Jesus. It was the Kuiper podcast, Kuiper and McShay.
yeah,
I don't even remember what it is. First draft, I think.
yeah,
They said Burrow probably has the biggest year-to-year turnaround that they've ever seen.
Nobody expected him to be a first round pick, let alone the
I didn't expect him to be
number
drafted.
1 pick.
I honestly, I had after the actually it was before the Texas game. I had a conversation with John Ferris. I said, "Yeah, Joe Burrow's not a draftable quarterback right now. The dude's going to have to play lights out to get in the draft. Like his best case scenario is someone taking a flyer in the 5th round.
Yeah,
And that's before Texas this year. And then after Texas game, I'm like, all right, he's a 5th rounder, and he looked good, but it's one game.
Yeah.
And then it kept going and going and going. And right now, I have as much confidence in Joe Burrow. I've only had this much confidence in 2 other guys, and in a slight downgrade for one of them, or a third guy. But Andrew Luck, Peyton Manning, I thought were surefire, no doubt about it. Absolute superstars out the gate.
yeah, and they
I
pretty
was
much
right.
were. Pretty much were. Yeah,
The other one I was almost to that level was Matthew Stafford.
yeah. And I mean, it's not like he's had a bad career.
I mean, anybody
Been
else
on a bad team.
I like everybody else that has performed well. I wasn't that confident.
Yeah.
Like I like Lamar Jackson, but he had things that you didn't like about
Well,
him.
yeah, of course.
You know, Patrick Mahomes. We all love Patrick Mahomes, but it more involved the system he was going into than necessarily his own skill set. We didn't realize he was this.
Yeah.
You know.
The only thing with Burrow, man, is if he's going to Cincinnati, which all signs are pointing, that's how it's going to be. Man, I just don't know. That's just a terrible ran organization. I hope it works out for him. I really do, because I mean he seems like a great kid. You know, his speech at the Heisman last week, have raised
400. Last I checked,
close to $500,000
Yeah,
for the Athens Food Pantry.
last time I checked, it was over $465,000.
It's amazing. I mean,
Yeah, that's
they came out yesterday or whenever it was and said they're renaming the stadium there at Athens High School,
they should,
Joe Burrow Stadium.
as they should.
I mean, it's a great thing for a small Southeast Ohio city.
It's something a lot of people don't realize. So I worked in Athens. I think it was right before Joe was in high school. It was either right before he was in high school or like his freshman year. Their stadium got tore down by a tornado. Like their facility was wrecked, and like he took the most impressive thing for me about Joe Burrow is I've watched him play against teams that were just better. Their team was better than Athens, which is this high school he played at. My alma mater, our alma mater, Jackson.
Yeah.
It was just a better ran program. Didn't matter. Burrow could be down 3 touchdowns.
Oh yeah.
He goes out with confidence and throws the football. State championship.
Yeah.
He had, I mean, there was times in the state championship game, which it was a crazy score, like 54-56. Like it was a stupid score for a championship game. But he, at one point in time, I believe they were down 2 scores. And the dude's, I mean, absolute ice water. Just goes out there, boom, 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 marches them down the field. And I'm talking like 4 minutes left. No pressure, only the entire way to the state championship on your shoulders.
No.
But he just did what he needed to do, made the right throws, boom, 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 touchdown. 3 minutes left, because he doesn't take long. Whenever the kid's moving the ball, he doesn't take long. And 3 minutes left, the other team gets the ball. They can't get a first down. Athens gets the ball back, boom, 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 they get a touchdown. And then it was like literally last second play, the other team scores a touchdown to beat him. But that's not Joe's fault. Joe, I think he may have played linebacker or safety on that team as well, but Jesus criminy. He was a 2-time Gatorade Player of the Year in Ohio, Mr. Football. The dude is incredible, and he's going to be an incredible football player in the NFL.
I hope so. I'm hoping that if it does turn out to be Cincinnati, I hope it doesn't bring him down. Hopefully he's able to lift them up.
Yeah. They've got 2 first-rounders, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think so.
I think one of them's like 11. No, it's like 16. Pick 16, I believe it is, as of right now. If they are, there's no Jake Long in this year's draft, but if they can find a way to turn that second first-round pick into an elite offensive tackle, like that, they have a real good chance to.
Yeah, and plus they're getting their first-round pick back next year. Jonah Williams, he hasn't played all year because he was hurt. He was pick 11 last year.
Yeah.
So that's already going to be an improvement for the line right there. So if they can add to that, then it's a step in the right direction.
It'll be interesting. So and I'm not. We'll talk a lot about this in the offseason, but Joe Burrow, like what does that do for Joe Mixon?
Yeah.
Right. And the value of Tyler Boyd, probably a rookie receiver to complement him.
Yeah, because who knows about AJ Green? He could be back.
I don't think he is.
I don't think he is, but you never know.
So we'll see. We'll see.
There'll be plenty of more Joe Burrow and off-season talk coming.
So, all right, guys, appreciate you tuning in. I'm out. Good night.
All right, see you.
Let's see. I don't know which button to push from there.
That'll work. Stopping the stream.